morning and welcome to today's episode of Random Guy number 6. As you can see, I have my painting clothes on. So we are going to be painting this range hood. I already removed it, kind of a 4 screws, it just pops out. I've got that outside. We're going to start doing that first, but also in this video I'm going to be installing a backsplash. So I'm going to have to remove this old one. That is going to be interesting because I'm pretty sure it's glued on pretty good. And then just installing some peel and stick tiles. I've never done that before with those. I've done regular tile and all sorts of other things, but this stuff will be new. So I figured I'd share it with you and see if it's easy or a pain in the butt. But the range hood, we're gonna get started on that first. So here's our handy dandy range hood. And just to make note, this is the only part, this face, that you're really that actually gets seen. The top is all hidden, it's covered by the cabinet. The sides and the back are all covered by the cabinet. And if you're short, then you see under here. But how many short people are there out there? So what we are gonna do is we're gonna paint it with this high heat paint. See if they like the color. If they don't, and it doesn't quite match the aesthetics of the kitchen, then we're gonna try this chrome paint, which is probably gonna end up looking more like a brushed nickel or something. It never looks like the can, I promise you, never. So first thing we got to do is sand every single surface, because we are going to paint the whole thing, even if it's not going to get shown, just because that's the right way to do it. So let's get sanding. Now that we got this all sanded down, I've blown it off with an air compressor, or if you don't have one of those, you can use a vacuum and just vacuum up all the dust. And then to prep this, we're just going to get some acetone and put it on a rag, wipe the whole thing down, and we'll be ready to give it a coat of paint. Now if your spray can says shake it vigorously for 30 to 60 seconds or 3 minutes or 5 minutes, you should probably do that, because if you do end up trying to spray this and it's not mixed well, you can get some really weird results and they're never going to be good. So just make sure you shake these up really well. And when you actually start painting, thin coats are better. So if you got to do 3 or 4 thin coats, then do 3 or 4 thin coats. Don't try and get it on super heavy. You're just going to cause yourself more problems. It'll cover on the next coat. You can see this is pretty fast, pretty easy. Just give it a little dusting. So the paint is now drying on that range hood in the backyard, so we're going to work on ripping out this old backsplash. Now I'm hoping that I can just take this very rigid putty knife, get it behind there, and just start prying it off. Whether I need a hammer or not, we'll see. So let's get started doing that. So that ripped off way easier than I had expected. I think that might have been the first easy thing that I've had on this entire kitchen. But the next thing you need to do is figure out your pattern. If you have tiles that have a pattern on them. So this one, you know, you can make a pattern like this, or, you know, if you want a pattern like that, keep it all uniform. They have opted to go for random, so however I slap them in, as long as they're a little bit different, is going to be just fine. Once you've got that figured out, you're going to want to measure these and then measure on your wall to see exactly where everything is going to fit. So, and the reason you're going to want to do that is at the very end of the walls or the top of the bottom, you don't want these tiny little thin pieces that are just going to be a super pain to cut. So just take the time, measure it out, see where all your tiles are going to lay out, and then we're going to start attaching them. So I've got everything marked out, and we're about ready to start installing some tiles. But this wall texture is very porous, and I'm a little worried about the adhesive being enough, because there is going to be such a little amount that's actually touching the wall. So what I've actually done is picked up some spray adhesive, and we just need to spray a little on the wall, spray a little on the back of the tile, and this way we make sure that it sticks and it's going to stay there for a long time. Now, once you peel and stick off the back of the tile, you know, if you've got a cabinet or something in the way, you can actually just use the tile to mask what you don't want to get glue on. Give the wall a little spray, give the tile a little spray. And we just gotta let that sit for about a minute, and then we'll stick it on the wall. So we've got all the tiles installed and all the switch plates are on. The only thing we have left to do is put this Rangehood back together and install it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's fairly simple. There's just a couple parts and pieces, and you know, it's running some wires. And I'm going to say a lot of these are going to be the same or pretty basic. So if you do need to paint one, it's usually just 4 screws to take it out and a couple screws to pop everything off, and you can paint it all nice and pretty like. So let's get to it. First thing you need to do is remount the fan. Now, if you can see over here, there's a hole. That's where the wires are going to go through. So when you install this, you're going to want to make sure that these wires are facing up so they don't get caught in the fan. Pull those wires wires through. Now we just got to put these couple little bolts on. I'm just doing them finger tight. You don't got to get it super tight on these. They've got little lock washers on the back of them, most of them do, so that's because of the vibration of the fan. It'll rattle these loose, so these lock washers keep them tight. We'll just feed these through here. Okay, next we've got this handy dandy power cord. It's just shoved through this hole. And this green plastic thing will just pop right in. Might have to force it a little bit. Pretty much it. Next we got the switches. I have no idea which way is off or on. This one has 2 speeds for the fan, and this one is just on off, but I honestly don't know which way is which, so we're just gonna guess. These just slide right in. Just push them like that, and push them in. In order to get them out, there's these little tabs on the side. You gotta squeeze them from the inside and just kind of wiggle it out. Okay, now the last thing we have to install is the light itself. Oh, looks like I actually pulled these through the wrong hole. And in this hole. I stuck them through the mounting hole for the light. There we go. Alright, so now the light, there's this little square piece and this little clip. And the clip literally just pushes in there. Then you can run these same wires through that same hole as the only other wire. Now all of the white wires get connected. So we this white wire, and this is actually a white wire. I only know that because this one has blacks connected to it. Now, the short one is for the light, so we're going to do that one last. These two are for the fan. One goes on one side. One of these powers, because this is our power coming in. goes in the middle. And then the black one goes on the other side. And the light is the same. The light is the other black wire in the middle. And the light put down there. Next we have to do the ground wire, which that goes on this screw and grounds the whole electrical to the range hood. Basically you can just wrap it around there, get it open far enough. Do that in pretty tight. Now we just have a cover. To hide all the wires. You can see you got two holes here and a little lip here, and this lip just kind of locks in there. Tuck all this stuff in. And we'll put our screws in. And there we go. Now let's take it inside and install it. Well, that's it for this video. As you can see, everything is all done and installed and pretty like. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask me in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed watching the video, and I'll see you soon.